Hey folks, today we're going to take a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter. That game is called 7 Ghosts and is from designer and publisher Keith Smith. If you like what you see throughout the rest of this preview video, I'm going to encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page. You can do so by following the link in the top corner of your screen, as well as down in the description section underneath this video. Now, 7 Ghosts is a competitive card and dice game. You and the other players are ghost hunters. You are trying to capture, as the name of the game implies, 7 ghosts. But in order to do so, not only are you going to have to go delving into these haunted and mysterious places, looking for those ghosts, which are cards, and using dice in order to get them, you're going to have to make special use of special spooky powers that you have in order to do so, all while trying to keep the other players from impeding your efforts. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at how the game is played with a prototype version of the game. So do bear that in mind. What you see in this preview section is going to be different in the final version, of course. But with that said, let's take a look, and then we're going to come back and discuss it further. Seven Ghosts is a competitive game for 2 to 4 players. Each player is trying to be the first to hunt down and successfully capture 7 ghost cards by using dice rolls and spooky action cards to enhance those dice rolls. Whoever is the first to capture 7 will be the winner of the game. To set up the game, first set aside the escape card. Take the rest of the main deck cards, which are the larger cards, shuffle them, and deal them into 4 equal face-down piles. Flip up the top card on 3 of the piles, but leave the 4th pile completely face down. This pile is known as the mystery deck. Shuffle the spooky action card deck and deal 1 card to each player to hold on to and use later without showing the other players. Set the rest of the deck aside and leave the set of 3 6-sided dice in reach of all players. The dice have 3 color symbols on them, green, purple, and black, with 2 sides for each. Randomly choose a star player and begin. On your turn, you will choose which of the 4 cards on top of the main deck piles to go after, either one of the 3 face-up cards or the face-down card on top of the mystery deck. If you decide to go for the mystery card, you flip it over and you're then committed to making an attempt for that card. To try and capture a card, you must gather the set of 3 dice and roll them. Every card in the main deck has a large number and a corresponding color. That's how many dice of that color you need to roll in order to capture the card. You're allowed 1 optional reroll. If you eventually succeed, you get to take the card and place it face up in front of you. If that card was from one of the face up piles, the next card is flipped over. If it was from the mystery deck, leave the next card face down. If you fail, the card stays where it is. If, when rolling the dice, you get 1 of each color at the same time, you get to take a free spooky action card from the deck, but only 1 per turn. Again, spooky action cards are kept hidden from the other players until used. After rolling and either succeeding or failing to take a main deck card, play passes to the next player until someone is able to acquire 7 ghosts and win the game. Many main deck cards are just the ghosts that you need to win, including a rare double ghost card worth 2 ghosts. Some of them have immediate special effects when you acquire them, like being able to gain a spooky action card or looking at the bottom card of one of the decks. Still, others can be discarded as a set of 3 to gain an additional effect. 3 zombie cards can give an off-limits effect, which can force an opponent to not use one of their cards until your next turn. 3 pumpkins can be used as a wild color of your choice. And 3 haunted houses give a scared witless effect, which can force an opponent to roll for a particular card on their turn. One of each of these cards is also a vanish card. If you discard only that card at the risk of never being able to complete the set of 3, you can force 1 top card of a pile to be placed on the bottom of the pile. If you already have 1 zombie, pumpkin, or house card at the start of a new turn, and there are 2 more of that same card currently showing out on the piles, you can make a run to capture both and complete the set. If you succeed on the first capture roll for the second card, immediately try again for the third. Spooky action cards can tip the balance in your favor when played at a critical time. There are cards like Off Limits and Scared Witless that mimic the card set effects I mentioned earlier. The Wise Move card lets you choose one of the top 2 cards from the deck to roll for instead of just 1. The See the Future card lets you see the top 2 cards of the mystery deck. Dice Manipulation cards let you change the faces of dice that you roll. And there are even 3 ghosts in this deck that count just like the ghosts in the main deck. Finally, there's that Escape card that was set aside at the beginning of the game. One of the main deck ghost cards you can capture lets you take and plant the Escape card. This means you can secretly place that Escape card somewhere in the mystery deck without looking at the other cards. Later on, whoever is forced to roll for this card must roll 2 black or be forced to lose one of their main deck ghost cards to the bottom of the mystery deck. Play continues until one player acquires 7 ghosts and wins the game. That is 7 ghosts. Well, 7 Ghosts is a very interesting blend of elements here because I think it would have been very simple just to make this into just a very basic card game or a very basic dice game. But by having the different card elements, having 2 different types of broad categories of cards, and throwing in the element of the sort of Yahtzee-style dice roll where you get to roll once and it's just twice in this game. By having those elements mixed together and giving you that option to get the cards by rolling the dice, I think it sort of elevates it above just a sort of very basic card game that you might expect to see. And when you add in there's like tons of different special abilities from the spooky action cards and some of those abilities appearing on the main deck cards themselves, the fact that the main deck cards can change dramatically. So this one card that you might get might just get you a ghost. The next ghost card that you get might instead get you a special ability, like getting another spooky action card, or getting a chance to plant the escape card, which is like a bomb, essentially, that you can put somewhere in the deck that you know where it is, but the other players might not, and you have to remember where it is if you try to go into the mystery deck. And that's another interesting aspect, too, is that you always have various options as to which card you want to go after. If you don't really want those face-up cards, though, you're going to have to go into the mystery deck, and who knows how much that's actually going to help you, but once you choose that course of action, you're committed to it. The game is very easy to learn. It's very easy to set up, very fast to learn and set up, and it doesn't overstay its welcome actually playing the game as well. The games are very quick here. So because of that, and because of the very accessible and light theme, and in the final version with the final artwork, it's going to have very cheerful and bright colors and theme as well, even though it is about ghosts and zombies and things. Because of all of that, I think it's a very accessible game. It's great for casual players. It's great for families. Just great for people who want something quick to play on their regular game night, either before or after, as the games are winding down for the night, or in between bigger, heavier games. So if you think that you fall into any of those categories, like that's a category of game that you want for your game night, you don't have to take my word for any of this. You can go to the official Kickstarter project page and find out more information for yourself. You can follow the link in the top corner of the screen as well as down in the description section underneath this video. That is 7 Ghosts from designer and publisher Keith Smith. Thank you so much for watching, and as always for supporting our sponsors. Take care.